What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Now, before we get to William's interview, this is Decklist that he used to get second place at Idaho States, and as you see, it is a Seismitoad Slurpuff deck, but this time we play Victinideck, and of course, Victinideck has Turbo Energize, which you search deck for 2 basic energy cards and attach them to your bench Pokemon in any way you like them. But the deck you really want to use with this card is Intensify and Burn. It does 50 damage and then 50 more if it's attacking an EX, so that way you just one-shot Virizion and Genesect and kind of put the match in your favor. And as you see, he does play, come on mouse, work with me, 3 fires, so that way you can just attach and then a DC and then start Intensify and Burn that way. And as you see, he does play 2 Headringers, and he does play 1 Dive Ball, and of course I ask about this, but hopefully you enjoyed the interview, and thanks for watching. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we do another states question answer video with William. And William, where are you from?
I'm actually a local from Idaho.
Okay, and what states are we talking about?
Idaho States.
Okay, so how'd you end up doing a Swiss?
Swiss, I ended up going 501. The tie wasn't actually from the last one. It was actually second to last.
Okay,
So,
and
so,
are you good?
so during the tournament, first round, I actually went against a Lando bat. It was actually fighting Landers. He was actually, with Crobat. He was playing with Lucario, Landers, Lucha, and Victini. That match, all 3 rounds, actually took 15 minutes because first game, I actually dead draw. I drew no supporter except a Lysander, and so I decided to scoop like after turn 4, I think. And game 2, I started up with everything. I had like 2 or 3 Swirlixes in play, getting the Slurpuffs, and then Seismitoad, and he was dead drawing, and so he decided to scoop on his turn 7. Game 3 was actually interesting. He started decided to go first so he can get his so he can start hitting heavy with the Landers or something like that. However, he started up with Decklist, and I had no cards except a Seismitoad and a laser. And so I lasered his Decklist, ended my turn with the Burbank. On his turn, he had no Ultra Ball, nothing. So he decided to Sycamore's hand and still draw nothing. And so I won off a laser Decklist. So
Oh, that's
I was like,
crazy.
it is, yeah. I'm like, is this supposed to be normal, or I'm supposed to go against? I'm supposed to see a full bench of bats, but I didn't. So that was weird. But I was like, I'm good with it. Game 2, I went against a heavy night march. It was I think I saw some headringers. I don't remember. I knew we were playing like 4 line, almost a 4 line of everything, and like even I saw 4 Mews, I believe. So game 1, I actually decided to go second because I knew for sure he wanted to he wanted to go second and start hitting, but I was like, nope, I knew what you're playing. So I got I actually got my Seismitoad out. I almost missed a first turn Quick and Punch, but off the last card of a N or Juniper, I actually got it. So I started Quick and Punching from there. He was actually starting to hit heavy because he was able to Juniper almost every turn and got rid of like 2 or 3 Pokemon. And it was like, okay, he was wrecking something. Later, I started trump carding him. 2 turns later, he scooped game 1. Game 2 was the same way. Got the Quick and Punch and was able to get the second game. Game 3 was another Lando bat. The heavy Lucha and Lucario. That game was actually a back and forth battle. Game 1, but she was actually a local player too, and she got the first game. Second game, I almost missed. I actually missed a. I believe I missed a Quake and Punch going second, and then she got her stuff going. Then apparently I started locking her up. I head ringered almost every Pokemon she had out. She couldn't get the tour. I think she played Tour Retrieval or Asterosic, but she didn't get that to get rid of my head ringers. Then I was able to get that game. Game 3 was another back and forth, except while I was locking her up, she actually was getting her cards, and we actually went to go to time, and it was actually I had 3 prizes and she had 5, and she decided to scoop to me because she didn't want another tie on her record. She was 101. She decided to scoop to me, And I was like, okay, I mean, are you sure? Like, I'm fine. I mean, you probably got a better chance than I do. Don't screw it up. So I'm like, so game four was against another Night March deck with Ebola and Buffalon. I heard about the Buffalon being in a Night March deck. I just never knew what he did. I thought it'd be like some sort of maybe a freezing tech or something like that, but I found out his attack actually was effective. So I was like, let's get around that. So game one, I started again locking up again. I was all my cards. I think one of my games in the tournaments, I forgot which one, but I actually missed all the Swirlixes. I almost two Swirlixes were prized. I think it was that game. So I was able to get one Slurpuff in play, and it was just like, one draw. Let's get this going. So they would get all that. He got his Blue on turn one, so he was able to get some draw power no matter how many times I end him or didn't have to trying to make sure he didn't get cards in his hand. Apparently, I got that first game. Second game, actually, that's when he brought in the Buffalon, where that's where I was like, oh, now I know what he's going to do, and see what he does. And it turns out, like, discard my stressful energy, and it's like, oh boy, I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, okay, Buffalon, wow. So he used it with the Mew. He didn't brought it. He just decided to get the Mew, double colorless it, get the Municipality. He's like, there you go. At one point, while doing that, he actually started using Seismitoad's attack too on me. So I was like, okay, you locked me up, I'm gonna lock you up. So I was like, okay. So he started doing that. But however, every time when you use the Buffalon, I already had the double colors in my hand. I was like, I'm just gonna start again. But apparently, he actually decked himself out, and I got a game two. So in round five, my opponent, who was apparently playing Flareon Eboleon with EX Tech or something like that, me and him were the only 4-0-0 at the time, so we decided he wanted to scoop to me because he knew for sure he can scoop the next two, ID the next two, and get top cut, and I knew for sure I can do the same thing. So we decided to ID, and that was actually the only ID I had during that tournament. And I was like, okay, I was hoping the ID the last round so I can get top cut. However, my next opponent, around the final round, we only had 6 rounds. He was another local, and he was talking to me about if I were to give him the game, I can still be able to make it. But apparently, I wish I actually did, but I decided to play it out. He was playing Evil Tall Seismitoad Garbodor, I believe.
Mhm.
I don't remember Garbodor, or I did. He just never got the chance to Flowstone it in time and all that. But he was playing that. So game one, he was actually discarding as much energy as he can, and is actually hitting with Baby Yveltal, and I was actually trying to get out a Pokemon that couldn't do anything, but I was missing the Lysanders, I was missing this, so I was actually getting racked up with Baby Yveltal. But apparently he was trying to get a Seismitoad going too. I think he started locking me up at one point, but I actually was getting him asleep at the lasers. At one point when I was able to S-Rosa his double Carlos, he had nothing there. I got that game two. Actually came up down close to his game. I was actually trying to get a license. He had a bunch of Pokemon with damage. He kept retreating and attacking. I was like, "Where's that Lysander?" Or just give me something. But I was still, even though I was doing damage, he was still retreating. At one point, I almost thought I was going to lose the game two, and then had to go game three. But apparently, I topped all the Lysander, got that with the laser on a Voltol. So I had that game. So apparently, after 6 rounds, I went 5-1. Was seeded first. My top 8, my opponent was playing some sort of big basics Hypnoton deck or something. I heard about the Pokemon where it was almost like a safeguard when attacking, and I was like, okay, it got me a little ward because I actually never seen this deck. I mean, I know the basics, but to go to do with that one Pokemon, I was like, okay, I didn't know what to do as much. Apparently, I thought my effect for Quick and Punch wouldn't go through, but it turns out it was like, oh, it was just damage wouldn't do as much, but your effect because it goes to the opponent goes through. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So game one, actually partially back and forth. He actually at one point I did miss a few Quick and Punches at a few games, so he was starting to hopefully play his advanced hammers. I don't remember head ringers. I think he had played one. I don't remember, but he did play hammer with his big basic. So when he was able to get those when I missed the quick and punching. It turned he actually got game one because he was able to get a Lance Judgment on me. I was like, and I totally forgot how many prizes he took. Cause like this was actually was okay with the game one. It was just like back and forth. I'm like, I'm okay. There's no problem. I'm not problem. Like I'm just missing one turn. Next turn I'm getting again. Apparently I lost kind of his pride, and he got that. I'm like, oh okay, game two. So game two. I decided to go first. I think I played my head ringers on his on a EXs. I think I remember I played head ringers. I don't remember if it was first or second turn, but I was able to lock him up after that. I was getting my lasers, getting his hammers, couldn't attack. I was just taking prize here and there. So we decided to go to game two, and so game three, I meant.
Yeah.
Game three was actually almost was a very interesting game. So it turns out that he decided to go first. There's a few Pokemon, placed a few cards and all that. Just I think like two Hippotons and a Landorus was for Mewtwo, and that was it. Now my can there was nothing except hammers, Burbank laser, and one supporter, and it was a trump card. Like that's not going to help. Uh, and a computer search. So I was able to play all the cards I had. I think I played. I think I missed the hammer, or I think I did. I remember. Then I was able to laser him, get the Burbank, and then I discarded the rest of my cards with a computer search, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a Juniper. Now, I actually double thought, like, should I just get the Juniper or should I get the double colorless? I'm new for sure. It was like, okay, either you Juniper get more hand, or you get the double colorless, start locking them up. But here's a dead draw. I'm like, I actually was like, I don't know what he did because when I looked at my deck, I was like only three double colorlesses. I'm like, what's the chances for that? So I actually decided to take a risk and got the double colorless. I'm like, okay, let's lock them up. I don't care. Um, I don't remember if he actually played Astro Rosage. I was just like, okay, just in case, or if he played Team Card, I don't remember. But if he gets that, it's game over. I'm like, I'm just taking a huge risk. Like this is like probably the biggest gamble I've ever taken. So I decided to get the double colorless. The only thing in play was the Burbank. Besides the for 30, to be quick and punch for 30, and the poison hippo. So I like, okay, let's do it. Locked him up. So on his turn, he had nothing. So he decided to play Professor Burns' observations and got tailed. After he draws four, ended his turn. I'm like, are you serious? Nothing. I mean, I think he evolved. I don't know. I knew he evolved his fan chapter later, but he had nothing. So I draw. I had no. That was actually no supporter. I think it was just hammers and lasers. So I kept quick and punching them. I think I got a few lasers. Kept doing that. Just do nothing. And I got that game off of freaking just a Seismitoad with a double colorless with nothing. I'm like, what? I'm here. I'm like, I never thought that would happen. I thought he would get the Esserosic or something to get rid of it. I'm like, oh, that's game. Because all he's got to do is play his trainers and start hacking. That was it. And I was like, but I got that game. Top four, the opponent was actually the guy who I actually ID'd earlier. So I was like, okay, the guy who ID'd, this will be, now we're like, okay, now who really would have won that game? So
Yeah.
playing Flareon, Bullion, and some sort of few EXs in there, I was like, okay. I mean, I would probably guess why he played like some sort of mirror match if he would play Mewtwo or stuff like that. He also played Leafeon, so I knew for sure I had to be careful with what I had to play, that. So I knew for sure I can get the other guys, but if he gets Leafeon or I miss the quick and punch and gets the Silver Bengal, it would be hard. So game one, he was getting a few Pokemon. He was getting Slurpuffs. He was getting his he was going. He did play a few Mewtwo's and play in a Keldeo. He actually was able to get a kill with the float stone, so he knew for sure even if I locked him up with the late while poisoning him, he can rush out so he doesn't take the damage. So it was actually I actually got the first game. We were able to get locked up. I think he did at one point get the Leafeon, and accidentally put in two double colors in play. Because I mean, I almost at one point I was getting ready to end my hand, and I had a double color, so I decided to attach that, which actually helped him get Leafeons to do so a lot of damage. So he got that going, but apparently I was able to laser it to sleep, keep it asleep, knocked out. a few times. And then he did play he did attack with Bullion that actually did almost hurt me a few points, but after getting rid of the energy and again laser and fitness up again, it was actually helping a lot. So I got that game. We went to game two. Game two, he was hoping to get almost. I knew for sure he was trying to get his EVs in play and a few Pokemon, but only got like two or three EVs, I think he did, and nothing else. He was playing so many trainers. I think that was like probably the longest first trainer I've ever seen that anyone done except Nightmare. But I mean, I know. I mean, I've seen someone going like 5 minutes off a turn one playing trainers, but that's almost felt like 10 minutes. So.
Yeah.
But apparently they will lock him up. He was racking damage, but I was able to stop it. And at one point, he actually was hoping to get use EV Signs of Evolution to get a Leafeon, and he had the energy, but he knew for sure like if I had the laser, it would be game. Apparently, I had the Furbank, had two lasers in my hand. I was like, okay, Fake and Punch to see, Poison takes you out, and so I got that game. So I got top two, finalist, which was amazing. But apparently, my opponent, who was playing Evil 12 Seismitoad, who you interviewed recently, um, the two games they were just crappy. I drove nothing first game. I missed the winners. And when first, and I decided to go to game two. On that game, I knew for sure. I was like, okay, he plays heavy Seismitoad, so I was hoping to get that. Hoping to get the head ringer. Apparently, I missed it. Hoping he didn't get nothing. He started Quake and Punch. Second game, we actually went back and forth, Quake and Punching each other. I was hoping, okay, give me Juniper, Slurpuff, gives me those draw power. Apparently, I was at the point like, okay, I had all these trainers, supporters. I knew for sure they would help me, but he had two Seismitoads, a Darkrai, a Keldeo, all with dark energy. Like, even if I landed on, there's no way. Like, he had those two games easily. I was like, I mean, so apparently he two me, and I got second.
I mean, second place is still very nice, so congratulations, sir.
Thank you. That's actually my first top finish in the state. As I was playing the Pokemon.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations. So, why did you decide to play the Seismitoad Slurpuff deck?
You know, my original deck I wanted to play was a Donphan Brownon or something, or just had a Donphan, but I just did not know what to do, and there was not much time to figure out what to play with it, or just what kind of text I wanted to do. I mean, I recently did really well with Donphan during the cities. I actually got a top cut a few times with it, but apparently, well, top cut once with it, but it did very well with me and all that. I never had any problems with it. Another idea I wanted to play was I wanted to play some sort of big basics with fighting with Ninetales, Stadium Lock, or in a Hex Flame to do a few things, but it was just too slow. I was like, there's no way I could go around that. And when I actually heard about this deck in a few places, I thought about it. I was like, you know what, seems interesting. I decided to give it a shot with it. I actually liked it. This is I just felt like I was able to walk up and still play my own cards. I mean, I knew for sure like it could hurt when you play mirror matches, but otherwise, as of the deck itself, is just very consistent, and I felt like I like this deck very consistent to me. And actually, again, I've actually had hardly any play time with it. I mean, there was no league challenges. There was nothing like just trying to get ready for the stage. And I was just like, I'm just gonna give it a shot, see how it goes.
Yeah.
And apparently, that was actually the best decision I've made.
Okay. So, why did you decide to play the two Victinis in your deck?
You know, I had a fear of. I mean, I know for sure Seismitoad would get wrecked against a Prison Genesect. And I didn't know if there was going to be a Prison Genesect at States. I just knew I mean, the metagame around that area was just kind of like back and forth. Because, I mean, we get Utah players coming up, we get a few Oregon, Washington. We had once get a few Canadian people coming up, and we got California. But I just did not know what we were going to play against. I knew for sure I was going to see. I thought Prison Genesect, but I also thought of Metal Links, Bronzong, and I knew for sure that could be a huge counter to apparently Dialga, but not to Angus Slash. But I knew for sure like with the I decided I would be a good counter to Grass and Metals if I see it. But apparently I did see it a lot, I did a few, but apparently I didn't play against all of them. So that was just like a it was like a just to be sure. I mean, you never know.
Okay. Now you did play one dive ball and two ultra balls. Did you ever want any more ultra balls, or was that enough? Like, was the split good?
Two Ultra Ball, one die ball is actually okay with me. I mean, when I was testing it with three Ultra Ball, I mean, there was nothing. I had no problems with it except there was a few times where when I was testing it was like, okay, this. This I could have used this card somewhere else instead of having to throw it away.
Hmm.
Most cases, I see the dive ball as a reason. Two things. One is kind of like okay, use the automatic Seismitoad and all that. I mean, instead of having to play an Ultra Ball, just play two cards. At one point, I thought about playing a repeat ball, but I knew for sure it's like it differs on what the game is, and like cause if you need a Swirlix or a Slurpuff, it's fine. But what if you needed this instead of that? So I decided to add the dive ball for just so I can get a thousand toad because I had a few times where it's like I don't use this card as many cards in my hand. Other reason was at one point where it's like when it comes to games where it's like okay I don't know what's in my deck, it's a free search through your deck. I mean I can search in my deck and fail it whether I need a seismic code or not. Or I mean because other cards that allows me to search through my deck. I mean there's in my deck there's hardly any like okay what do I have in my deck except computer search and Battle Compressor. So it's like that was I mean I just see that well as a free card just to search through and help me get a seismic code.
Okay, that's true. All right. So you played one Cassius, one Chorus, one Lysander, one Trump card, one Team Flare, and one Xerosic. What was your favorite one of supporter?
My I mean almost all of them were. I mean most cases. I mean as of my as my favorite for the tournament, it was actually I would say it was Cassius because in a few games where they could have had the knockout, I was able to try to get knocked on the side, so that actually helped me save the games a few times. I mean, I was actually between Chorus and Cassius. I mean, Chorus had actually helped me get a few more cards um, instead of the hand I needed, and Cassius was able to get rid of my Pokemon that had heavy damage. In most cases, I actually was in a situation where I didn't need a Victini, and they were going to trying to get rid of it. That actually saved me one game where I put it back in my deck, and so I was able to save myself from giving them a free knockout. So I would guess Cassius. He saved me a few points. I mean, I don't know. I was able to do it twice with Cassius a few times. And it was like that really helped me a lot.
Okay. So after playing this tournament, would you make any changes to the deck, or you think the list is pretty solid?
No, after the tournament, I actually made a few changes to it. One change I actually took out the bikinis for a Trevenant because I actually started playing this later in states, and I didn't make a lot of changes except take out the bikini for a Trevenant because I saw a lot of mirror matches, and I knew for it wouldn't do as much. Uh, I see the deck was okay. I mean, between Victini and Trevenant, I actually just started to go with Trevenant because of a lot of mirror matches. In other cases, too, with Primal Kyogre and Groudon coming into play, that's actually Trevenant is actually a really good card because if you can rack up some damage on let's say if you by any chance rack up damage on a Primal Groudon or Kyogre, but you're able to get a powered up Trevenant, it would just would take it out because with the Trevenant, you can get a few cards on them with a Muscle Band, 290 times 280. But if let's say you're able to get them a quick and punch on them, that can almost do 240. That's what I would do.
Okay, all right. So how many championship points are you at currently?
Oh my gosh! Before states, I only had 87, and I was like, okay, after the states, there's no way. After my states, I racked up to 177, which boosted me up so much. But right now, after some of the other tournaments I've been to, I'm at 194. I'm in a position where it's like if I can actually do well at two regionals and all that. I've already maxed out my league challenges, but if I can actually do well in two regionals, I think I might have a chance to go worlds. I'm hoping to do that. That state's second place actually boosted me up, and I was like, okay, maybe I can actually go to worlds and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I put as much time as I can to hopefully make this deck more better. Hopefully, or maybe play some of the deck games. But if I can do well in two tournaments, like give me two 16 place or better at two regionals, I think I can go to Worlds.
Okay. So speaking of regionals, I know you're talking about you might switch decks. Would you pick Seismitoad Slurpuff, or is there like another deck that's piquing your interest right now?
One of my interests right now um, was is eggs. I mean, eggs with the gauze and the bouillon. Because in most cases, I mean, I see that deck is a very effective too, effective in many ways. Because once you start blockading them, it shuts them down and all that. However, another deck that I thought of trying to do was maybe probably go back to my Don fan. I mean, after not hearing Don fan going just not doing well, then all of a sudden going back up, it's like, I mean, I like Don fan all that. I mean, there's ways of going around them, playing them within all that. However, I just see Seismitoad. Just, I mean, if you go second and all that stuff, I mean, just start locking up. I think I'll just like either I'll play something else or I'll stick with Seismitoad, hopefully make some changes where it allows me to play more efficient in the upcoming regionals.
Okay. Well, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
Um, I'll give. There's a few people. I think first of all, Cena Cox, who actually scooped to me in Game 3. I mean, if I don't know if I had that. I mean, if that was a tie instead of a win, I don't know what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Was that like I've also given my congrats to Chris Collins, who actually beat me twice with Southern Code. So I mean, when else played Southern Code, has done well with it. Hey, congrats to those guys. All that. Hope everyone who's chasing points. Hope you guys do good at Worlds.
Alrighty, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and good luck in your invite.
Thank you, man.
Alrighty, take care.
All right, thank you.